And so again, welcome to the book launch event for Positive Impact, and also launch event for a purpose launch Launchpad guide in German. So I would like to ask Michael Friebe to give his review of the book Positive Impact that he is also published in LinkedIn, and that we can also share in the chat maybe. Michael.
Thank you very much. I don't have any charts, so I'm every once in a while I'm peeking over to my cell phone because I have something written down. At least I have my review there. So I posted this. This is the first review I did on a book, and I've never done that before. And I did it because it's really dear to my heart, this book, and it's not because I wrote it. I participated a little bit, just like Oliver did, but it's because it finally gives me some guideline, some framework, and some ideas about mindset shift that I was needing maybe for the last 20 years when I was trying to actually create innovation. So innovation is something, this is my definition, is an invention multiplied with commercialization. So it has to actually make it up to a, in my case, a patient or a customer. So it has to be able to be used. Just a merely an invention is not good enough. And the same thing goes for things you do in a large corporate setup or anywhere. It can be used for anything. So there's tons of these different methodologies out there. If you talk to Alexander Osterweiler, who I know quite well, the only thing you should use is value proposition canvas and business model canvas, and that's all you need. If you talk to Steve Blank or Eric Ries, they have their own methodologies. You talk to the OpenExo people, they have their methodologies, and everybody believes that this is the only thing you need actually to create some meaningful to turn some meaningful new ideas into products or workflow or services. Now, what I was missing is like and Francisco called it at some point in time a meta methodology. And I was not allowed to use this anymore. I think you said you have to use framework. I still use it though, because I like because it ties a lot of things together. At the end of the day, there is not that much new to it in terms of what kind of canvases you use. You ask all kinds of existing things, but they're tied together so they make sense. And they're tied together so they actually are, it's almost like a game to follow. It's almost like a progress record you're following. So anyway, having said that, that's basically where I come from, and I was always looking for that. And so let me start with the price of the book. It's 15 euros, and it's unbelievably inexpensive considering what kind of information you get. I think we should start with that because price is always a sensitive issue too. But this is, yeah.
And just in the Kindle version in Germany, at least it's €9.50, something like that. So
I need to have something. You should see my books. They're always there. There's all kinds of like folding things. I tape things to it. I scratch on it. So I need to have something in real physical form. But I understand that people like the e-version too. Now, the positive impact by itself is a good starter. It's a good headliner. But what I like better even is the subtitle of the book. It's the Purpose Launchpad Mindset and the Framework to Improve Your Startup, Your Organization, and the World. So you already see that there's a bigger meaning behind it. It's not just for startups, it's for everything. It's for anything you can do. And I remember that Alexander Osterweiler at some point in time came up with a business model U. It was not a business model for companies. It was not a business model for startups. It was a business template for you. And I do believe you can actually use it for yourself as well. Maybe that's a sub-component, Francisco, you want to do at some point in time. So it's a 29-chapter book. It has lots of intro work in it. It reviews some of the things that we have mentioned already, like the blue ocean, design thinking, agile approaches, product innovations, business model innovations, all these kind of things you already probably know, but they are very nicely summarized. So I like that too. It's kind of like leading, saying that these things are important, what they're important for, and at the end of the day, how can we tie it together? And eventually he gets to a model that explains the 5 Ps of basically novel innovations and novel innovation design. and novel methodologies, novel framework. And it starts with the product from the bottom up. So you need to have a product, you make some profit, but you also need to think about sustainability, about people, the planet. And if we don't consider that in the future, what is the profit worth if the planet is not worth living on it anymore? But we also have, and that's the guiding principle, and that's why it's also, has that positive impact. We need to have a purpose. Now, all of us have heard that one before, have a purpose, but purpose is something that is the guiding principle of this purpose launchpad methodology. It's one of the 8 segments, and it's the main headliner segment, which, can be revisited. I think Francisco always say it needs to be done first. I do it to a certain extent as an innovator disagree. I think you can come back to that, but you need to have a little bit of a loop done first, and then you can define maybe a purpose better. But purpose, nevertheless, and you're absolutely right on that one, is the guiding principle on this whole thing. So what what is described in the book is basics plus then the 8 segments that that Francisco already mentioned, in these 3 different phases that you have. So you have an initial phase, like a discovery phase, then you have a validation and an implementation phase. And for all of these, you have different tools. They're also very well explained. So if you're in a setup on a startup, you use different tools, maybe you ask different questions. Your drive and your motivation is more hypothesis based. While when you go to an implementation phase or before that, you're trying to validate all these hypotheses. You're getting more and more, so you are gaining knowledge, information, and you're gaining credibility. So I'm let me put my hat on as an investor. If I would have a company or a startup that would come to me and would basically show me these 8 segments and show me that they have done a round, and they have actually gotten some insights, then I don't give a damn about business plans. I would say that is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for, that the people have a mindset, the people are agile, they are willing to actually have an agile project plan, and they turn it around. So it's very well explained. And for me, the whole purpose launchpad is something where you have a guideline, you have a response system, and you also get a visual feedback. So you see where you are, you see what you have to do. And this is what I was missing. And I'm sure that a lot of you were missing this, not just doing a business model canvas and then basically sticking with your hypothesis and never really trying to validate them, because you believe at some point in time what I've done is clever and is good and it will work. But to really, really get a feedback on what you have done and how valuable that is I think the key. I think I don't really necessarily want to talk that much more about the book. I don't want to spoil you anyway of reading it. I wrote this down. I think it's a fun book to read. It's not overloaded with theory. It's very practical approach. So you really see of how to apply it. It gives you also some really good guidelines on what to do and some recommendations. So it's to a certain extent generic. It has to be, because it's a framework. But and that's maybe we come later on. You can use that for different industries. So in my case, for the healthcare industry, where I have used different tools that fit more for healthcare than for anything else, but it doesn't change the framework. And so I have to say, it's for me like probably really even before my own book, and I'm very eager on this one. Yeah, I'm very happy about my own book, but I think your book is more important because it was a guiding principle for my book, and it is more generic, more applicable, and explains the individual tools better. So for me, it's a must reading for everybody who is in this field, and it's a must reading for everybody who is interested in actually giving the customers, so I saw there's a lot of consultants on board, really give your customers a guideline and a system that allows them to really have a methodology approach for creating innovation with a purpose as a guiding principle. I think I stop here, Oliver. I think I said enough. I hope I convinced everybody to spend 15 euros on it. Francisco, did we agree on any commission or anything beforehand?
No, not yet.
It was great.
We'll do that later on. I did prepare a couple of slides to do a little bit of visual also for the people who haven't had a look at the chance to have a look at it. And
by the way, I will put this this review, what I posted, and I will put it in the chat. So that at least people can
put the link in the chat already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So just looking here. So can you see my screen? I think yes, but too much yet.
Well, before you set it up, let me just add maybe one more sentence on it. I was very frustrated, I have to say, and Henning was on there with the Open Exo book. We were, and you know that too, Oliver, we were part of this writing this Open Exo book version 2 now, and I'm very frustrated that it has not happened yet. And I'm very impressed, Francisco, also how quickly you turned this around and how much more comprehensive the approach is, including this Open Exo and the Exo canvases.
Yeah. Taking on what Michael started to talk about, what Purpose Launchpad is about is helping people, organizations to make a massive positive impact. And if you look into what is the reason for the Launchpad having been created by Francisco, it's about generating and evolving early stage ideas into purpose-driven organizations to make a massive positive impact. So really come from a drawing of a rocket to really potentially launch reusable rockets in the end. Purpose Launchpad talks about 3 phases, and it's always connected to a certain mindset. So there's first an exploration phase, where as explorers, as people who want to create a new idea, need to find out what is the idea about? Who are my customers? What do I do not know at this stage? And then create a set of hypotheses to be validated. And as soon as these hypotheses have been created, the next stage is to go and evaluate what we assume is right about the idea, about the customers, about the environment. And it might be that some of these hypotheses become validated, others won't. And maybe we just find out, yeah, great idea, but we shouldn't do it. And then we go back to exploration. And as soon as the validation has taken place, we move into a phase that's called impact, where we talk about scaling, and we would need another mindset, which is more than related to execution instead of finding out and exploring new ideas. We have lots of technologies in place. You know about most of them, and there's lots of methodologies which can be used. But the thing that I find really great about Purpose Launchpad is the integration of the different approaches into a mindset and into an agile framework where 8 dimensions are being looked at. And these 8 dimensions in English, you can see on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, Francisco, you can start learning German, what that means. So it's about the purpose, which is the starting point. It's about the people, the team who's doing it, but also communities that can be involved, the customers that shall be targeted by an initiative, the idea of sustainability, which is triple sustainability. It's about profit, people, and planet. So it's about economics, ecology, and the society. It's how to use abundance to get scalability. It's about creating processes, and it's of course matching a solution to a problem a real customer has. So offer a product, a real product to customers. And then with the metrics dimension that Francisco already talked about initially, it's about measuring what progress being made. What you can see in the logo is the 3 different colors: the inner yellow part, the lighter blue part, and the lilac part. And sorry, if you look at these color codings, the yellowish one is the exploration phase. It always starts with purpose and is trying to evolve the different axes at the same time to make progress until you can say the validation of the hypothesis has taken place, and we move into the evaluation phase. And also here, we always evolve all the 8 dimensions at the same time until we reach a point where we can say, now we're ready to scale. We know that our business model works, that we're sustainable in the 3 dimensions, and then we start the impact phase, which is still depicted here and again. In German, Die Übersetzung lautet Purpose Beteiligte, Kunden natürlich Nachhaltigkeit in dreifacher Weise, Abundance, übersetzt mit Fülle, Prozesse, Produkt und Metriken. So, if you look at the different dimensions of the axis, then that already matches with certain tools, and those tools can be used. They don't have to be used. It's recommended that they really help to get where you want to get, but it's just an example, and it's a sort of collection you can use in your way. So the MTP canvas is something that has been created also by Francisco and Angel Maria Herrera. That helps with purpose and defining your purpose. Beteiligte people, there's a team canvas that can be used, and Kai, I know he's been using that for the startup that he's been working on, and there's the entrepreneurial DNA to find out, do we have the right competencies in the team? There's a community canvas to see with what communities do we want to connect. On the customer side, it's about customer development, according to Steve Blank, Eric Ries. We have the value proposition canvas that can be used to structure the way we picture out the customer segment and the demand and get it to a problem solution fit. Crossing the chasm is something that we'll see when we need to go to scaling the whole initiative. Then there's business model canvas on the profit side, cash flow management to be cash flow positive, hopefully during the most of the time. There's this valley of death that startups face as soon as they need to get into scaling. The EXO canvas, as Francisco mentioned, is part of the Open EXO community, the EXO model that has been used to scale. Then there's Scrum, the agile way of working as a basic and underlying process of creating sprint after sprint and progressing the different dimensions. Lean startup again, developing MVPs to get early learnings, quick learning cycles, and to re-enter the loop of building, measuring, learning. On innovation accounting, the first thing that you can measure is, are your hypotheses valid? And very late on, you can only measure, is there an ROI in place? So again, these are the 8 dimensions. Each of the 2, or purpose and abundance filler, are connected in an axis, and they correspond very well because purpose creates abundance. There is the radar, the assessment of purpose Launchpad, that really provides you with an indication of what's the progress of your initiative. And again, the color coding follows the different phases. So the inner yellow circle depicts that a certain dimension is still in the exploration phase. The light blue one, and then dimension is in the evaluation phase. And as soon as it moves beyond the yellow light blue line, it's in the impact phase. And the idea is, as an agile framework, each of the dimensions will get certain activities to be done, results to be achieved, so that a team that's working on an initiative is evolving and developing these different dimensions step by step. And every end of a sprint, the assessment can be done by a Purpose Launchpad mentor to see what the progress looks like. And that's what Michael talked about in terms of the investorship. Investors can see how an initiative has been progressing. There is a couple of values tied to Purpose Launchpad, and that's also the values that we'll find in the book, that also you find in the Purpose Manifesto. There's a translation of those, and I'm going to go to the opportunity that you have. You can scan the barcode that's on this page, and you can download the English version. At the same time, there's the German version of the Purpose Launchpad with the different, sorry, with the translation being done in German, of course. And also here is the QR code that you can use. You will also receive follow-up mail after this meeting, and you will get the links once more. So I'm just going to stop here, making a massive positive impact. The question that I would have, Francisco, maybe we can enter first question. We've seen we've seen the book cover, and what does the book cover show us actually? I can bring up the book cover is behind me here, this way, and I can also share once more the screen if you like to that. But I think it should be big enough to explain. So, Francisco.
Well, thank you so much, Oliver, for the comprehensive and very efficient presentation about Purpose Launchpad. Well, the book cover represents several things. And by the way, even in the Exponential Transformation book, I also included some hidden symbols. And I'm going to start with that one, just for you to see that I always like to do this. This is the original presentation, the original cover, right, of the Exponential Transformation book. Well, I have a daughter, I have two daughters, but back then when I was writing it, I only had one. At some point, some person to my back then 4-year-old daughter said in a conversation that we were having about going to the moon and so on, someone said to my daughter, well, please don't lie to kids, because they are not going to go to the moon, never ever, right? At the same time, my daughter had like a puppet, like a toy, a duck, right?
Mm-hmm. Francisco, we can't hear anymore.
Even though it was a big duck. You can see here the moon,
okay,
with a little girl who is my daughter, myself, and a little duck, right?
Okay. Okay.
So this is a little symbol saying, well, don't stop dreaming, never ever, right? Because it's, even though we cannot go to the moon now, some people have, but we will be able to do that someday, right? Even basically what I wanted to say is that I love this type of hidden messages into the cover of the book. And in this one, even though Oliver have it there, but basically there are a few things. First, well, there is the sea and the moon, because my two daughters, one is called Mar, which is sea, and my other daughter is called Moon, which is Luna, which is moon, right, in English. So it was a little basically message for them, right, that I do care about them and I wanted to have them. But in any case, it was very simple, basically straightforward to put the sea, because the sea represents for me the abundance, right? Every time that I talk about abundance is the sea, the ocean, right? Because it's full of water, full of possibilities. The moon is the moonshot, but even in the book, we evolve the concept of the moonshot, and we say not moonshot anymore, we say a starshot, because we have already gone to the moon, right? and at the same time, our purposes are always represented by stars. So when we want to go to our star, which is our purpose, instead of saying the moonshot, which is, for those of you who don't know, although I guess that most of you know, the purpose is the future vision of the world, how we envision a better world. For example, zero poverty would be a purpose, right? So that would be the star. Helping 1 billion people to be economically sustainable would be our moonshot, the way that we put numbers to our purpose, right? Even though we don't talk about moonshot anymore, but about a starshot. So the star in the center of the cover is basically our purpose, and the track is, well, we are trying to go to our purpose, right? Also, these rails are actually not rails, it's a pyramid. It's a pyramid. And the pyramid is, I would say, one of the most powerful concepts that are explained in the book. Michael was talking about it. Sometimes we call it a positive impact pyramid. Sometimes we call it the 5P pyramid, because it's product, profit, people, planet, and purpose. These are the 5 layers, right? And some people are starting to call it the Palao pyramid, in the same way that we say the Maslow pyramid. But it's very similar to the Maslow pyramid, but applied to organizations. And we say that, yes, of course we need to innovate, even though I always say now that innovation is not enough anymore, right? And I will explain why. Because the basis is innovating. As Michael was saying, innovation is invention plus commercialization. Ken Morse was talking about this a lot, for those of you who know Ken Morse. But in any case, innovation is we are able to sell something because it makes sense for the market and based on a new technology or on a new idea. But this is only the foundations, because if we generate value by innovating, we'll have a good product, which is the first layer, and we'll be able to make some profit, which is the second layer. And we can stay there, as people can stay in the second layer, even the third layer, right? But we can go beyond that. After being sustainable from an economical point of view, we can be sustainable with our environment, with the people and with the planet. And actually, all of us should be sustainable, because we cannot spend tomorrow's resources to do today's activities. But it's not only about being sustainable. Even sustainability is, from my point of view, kind of old, because it's not only about not making a damage out there, right? It's also about regenerating the world. It's about making a positive impact. It's about improving, making the world a better place, because we have done so many bad things. Now it's time to do the good thing. So the last layer is basically the purpose, which is making a positive impact. But you won't be able to say that you are making a positive impact unless you are not operating in a sustainable way or even in a profitable way, because otherwise it's not possible. So those are the 5 layers, and the rails are actually representing the pyramid, and the purpose is on the top of the pyramid. This is very profound because, as explained in the book and in several presentations, now companies that are purpose driven, companies that put the purpose in the middle, they start generating so many ideas and initiatives around the purpose. This is the case of Tesla, for example. At the middle, they have their purpose, accelerating the world's transition into a sustainable energy model, with maybe different words, but that's the essence. And around that, they do cars, electric cars, they do batteries, they do solar panels, and so on, and even apps. And this is the reason why Tesla is much more valuable. Basically, the cap table of Tesla is bigger than the addition of all the different competitors, right? Like you put the others. And because the others are only focused on the 2 first layers, product and profit. But if you go to the impact, around your impact, around your purpose, you can start generating a purpose-driven ecosystem with many more things. Apple does the same, Google does the same, and many others, right? Mm-hmm. Also in the book, there are a few people inside of the
spacecraft
of the scraps of the ship, basically, or space ship. Is basically, well, it's actually my family, but it's not my family. It's anyone's family. And even you can see there not only people, you can even see there like a dog, cat, right? Meaning that we love living beings, right? And it's about loving every type of living beings, not only humans. I don't like to put humans in the center, right? So it's the love part. Is we do everything because love. Because I always say, on Monday we had a very nice presentation about the book here in Spain with a piano and everything. And at the end of the presentation, I was saying, well, it's not about technology, we know. It's not about methodology, we know. It's about mindset, we know. That's the key. But overall, it's about love, because if we act from love, trying to make a positive impact in other people's life, we'll really succeed, not only in life, but also in business. Anyway, a lot of meaning in the cover. I'm sorry, because I was taking a lot of time for this question, but yes, there is a lot there, and hopefully you like it. It's a little bit different, right? The cover of other books, but hopefully you like it and now you understand.
Thank you very much for the explanation, Francisco. When I first saw it, I thought, well, interesting. But now with your explanation, it becomes much clearer. Thank you. Is there any questions from the audience? So then we can take your questions. Otherwise, I have tons of questions and we could fill the whole evening probably. That's not the case. And my next question would be, Francisco, talking about the mindset and the agile framework that Purpose Launchpad represents. Is one or the other more important or relevant, or are they the same level, or how do you see that?
No, great question. At the end of the day, it's about the mindset, right? Because not only for new products or a startup, but for organizations is the same. The only way to really evolve an organization is evolving people's mindset. That's the case. And Purpose Launchpad has also these applications on top of it, the Purpose Discovery, the Purpose Challenge, and even the Impact Sprint. And those are applications focused on corporates, basically. Those, and the book explains them very, very well. Very well. It explains, or at least introduce them. There are better explanations in our website. In Purpose Alliance, we have more explanation about these apps. Anyway, the thing is that it's a framework that will help people to evolve their mindset, and that's the point. Both are important, but at the end, the end goal is the mindset, and the framework is what will help people to get the mindset. Because you can get inspiration by reading the book. Actually, that's the goal. The book is full of examples, full of stories, full of things to inspire people. But you are not going to change your mindset reading a book. The only way to change a mindset is by acting, by doing things, by failing, by trying again, and so on. So the framework is designed from the very beginning to help people to evolve. That's the idea. So the framework is the path, and the mindset is the destiny.
Okay. Thank you. We have like 10 minutes left. Is there further questions from the audience? Once more the question. That's not the case. I would like to touch on one point once more, and I will show sort of the resource. You talked about ecosystems, Francisco, and the ecosystem that Apple has created, the ecosystem Tesla has created. But Purpose Alliance also is an ecosystem. And no, I'm in the wrong browser. I'm sorry for that. So if we look at the Purpose Alliance webpage, and you just have to put purposealliance.org, there is a couple of resources that we'll find. And there is like these different tabs: Academy, Services, and Evolver. Can you talk a bit about those three elements, as we already touched on Purpose Launchpad, which is one part of the ecosystem?
Sure. Yes, well, Purpose Launchpad is kind of the foundation, even though it's an open framework. Anyone can download it, anyone can create a new Purpose Alliance if you want. I mean, it's fully open, right? That's Purpose Launchpad, and it even has its own website, which is purposelaunchpad.com. Purpose Alliance is the place, is the community, is the where, is where we do things together. When I say we have a community with different, as we always explain within Purpose Launchpad certifications and everything, with different circles, with different areas, right? We have doers, entrepreneurs, we have investors, we have corporates, and we have mentors. For example, Michael and Oliver are certified Purpose Launchpad mentors. So Purpose Alliance, and you might already know, but basically started by chance. I didn't plan to create Purpose Alliance, but I was about to do a conference in Paraguay, in Asunción, on March 19, 2020. And on March 12, 2020, I received this call saying the conference is going to be canceled. So I decided to launch a challenge to help with COVID. More than 350 people joined. Some of you were actually there. And that was amazing. And after that, we ran another challenge for Dubai, for UAE, another one for Mexico. And at some point, some person told me, Francisco, thank you for running these challenges, because I have understood, and now I know, I'm aware that I can really make an impact on the world. So I said, okay, let's drive this energy in some way and let's launch something. So that was the very beginning of the community of Purpose Alliance. I finished Purpose Launchpad a few months later because it was needed for the people, because it's not only about doing things exponential or connecting with abundance with this. My previous life, EXO, even though I still keep EXO, it's not only about evaluating hypotheses, which is my previous life with Lean Startup. I was very close to Steve Lang and to Eric Ries. It's about the comprehensive approach with Purpose Launchpad. So I finalized Purpose Launchpad, but I started to work on Purpose Launchpad in 2012. So it was 8 years, not every day working on it, but thinking and evolving it and so on. So I launched Purpose Launchpad, and the next thing that I did was launching the academy, and I started to train a few mentors, not a lot, because this is not about growing, at least at the very beginning. So I have certified myself directly 80 people. Michael and Oliver are two really amazing mentors, of course. We have done things together, very beautiful things, very beautiful projects. We are doing many things that is really amazing. All our mentors are top level. I mean, the mentor program is not for any person. It has to have a profound innovation experience and everything, because we have other certifications such as the Purpose Launchpad Practitioner, the Essential, and so on. But basically we did the academy in order to take the community to another level. We are now launching a Purpose Launchpad Investor program and a Positive Impact Leader program. So we are like making even more comprehensive the core community with all the certificates. We ran and we launched Purpose Evolver later to evolve startups and initiatives that were basically coming out of the challenges. And the last thing was Purpose Alliance Services, where we do projects for corporates. For example, we did 18 mentors work together for Total, the energy company. We defined what we co-created the Total's purpose with 18 mentors and 350 people from their side. And after we helped them to define their purpose, which is democratizing access to clean energies, they changed their name, their company name and their logo. So they were from Total to Total Energies, and in their logo you cannot see red anymore. You see so many colors representing all the different type of energies, finishing with the white, with the yellow, which is the sun energy. And these are the type of projects that we are doing among the mentors and about the community. So we are doing very beautiful things, but always with a common element, which is making a positive impact, not only on the world, but of course also on their businesses. But everything is going to that, I believe, very positive direction. So very excited to see how the ecosystem is evolving. And ecosystems have something important, which is we don't put the client in the center, not even the business in the center. Even the core edge concepts that you can find in the EXO Sprint, from my point of view, is obsolete already, because in the center we should put always the purpose. And every type of initiative will need what we call the habitat, right? Some initiatives, you know, that are more edge or more core, so it's not white or black, right? You need to define an habitat for each initiative. That's part of what we do in the Impact Sprint and everything. I cannot talk about everything now, but yes, the key is that the center, or in the center, we find the purpose now. And the customer is still in the center, but within each initiative, not in the high level landscape, right, of the ecosystem. Anyway, yes, proud to be evolving into an ecosystem. I'm feeling super lucky of having people like you, Oliver, and Michael as mentors, and more to come, because now, starting next year in January, we are going to start adding more mentors. Now that we know how to scale, and hopefully we'll be achieving our star shot, which is, by the way, helping 1 billion people to make a positive impact in the world. And people includes, of course, also organizations, people inside of organizations.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Francisco. We gave a promise in the invite, which was that there will be a draw on an essential certification. So I'm just going to move onward to that one now. Just for you to know about the essential certification, it's under the academy part, and you find the Purpose Launchpad Essentials. Everybody on this call and everybody else who just uses the internet can access the program content without any cost. If you want to get the certification, then you can enroll in the full program, and the whole certification is worthwhile 150 euros. I think the duration for looking at the content plus then the resources that you have here that you can access is about 2 hours. So it's worthwhile doing the certification. I know Dietmar has done that certification as part of my mentoring training, and very well recommended. So
yeah, and it's a really good starting point to get into the mindset and into the framework. Mm-hmm. And really cool stuff made by Francisco, and it's mainly done by video. So really good.
Excellent. So I put all the names of the participants who were on the call behind these little sticky notes. I was expecting some more, and I did not put any names who already have a certification, either essential or mentoring, because that would be sort of the that would not be appropriate, I guess. But also Henning, who has to leave now, will be part of the draw. So I would ask Francisco to just pick one of those numbers that you can see, and then we will know who is the person on. Oh no, let's do Andreas. He's still showing himself. Andreas, you pick a lucky number. Number 2.
Number 2.
Okay, so that would be Philip. He has been joining in the first place, and then I will inform him about that he's the one who's got the essential certification for free. Excellent. Hi, Martina and Miruna. So, is there any further questions from your side? I mean, it's worthwhile doing the essential certification. It's also worthwhile and a real challenge to the mentoring certification. If you're interested, go to the Purpose Alliance webpage and browse the content that you can find there. Really recommend it.
Just as a quick intro, I make all my students basically attend the class, so they don't pass the test, but it's mandatory to do that. And they all say it's fantastic.
Good. In this case, we're on the top of the hour. Thank you very much, Francisco, for being with us today. Thanks, Michael, for the great review, and thanks for all the participants to being with us tonight. I'm going to take the recording, and as already announced, we will use this recording also to be published on YouTube so others can watch the content and the presentation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Thank you very much. And we'll see maybe latest on the book launch event of Michael. Do you want to say one word on that one?
Please.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
No, not yet.
I'm done. No, it's all. I don't want to take it away from. It's all good. I will make a separate event on this one, and I'd be very happy to have Francisco there as a guest of honor, and we'll make several events on this one. All right.
But can I? Because I think it's worth it, Michael. You should actually. I mean, let me say, because you were talking about my book, let me talk about yours. Actually. Right. It's not my book, it's everyone's book, because you were participating as well. But no, I feel very honored, Michael, of everything that you are doing. And also, well, I kind of understand also the academic area, right? Because I also did my PhD and so on. And seeing how you have been writing papers on Purpose Launchpad with real data, with validation, is really amazing. And I feel honored. I'm very amazed about the job that you are doing, and taking that into a real book focused on healthcare. I think is what we need, like verticals and people who do things on top of Purpose Launchpad or inspired by Purpose Launchpad, because I'm pretty sure that you are going to be adding so many things, not only Purpose Launchpad, but I cannot wait to read your book. And also, I'll be super happy to promote it, even in my local city in the south of Spain, because we are being named the capital of AI in Spain, but we are also the capital of healthcare in Spain because we have a very big scientific park. So I cannot wait for having you here talking about this, and of course in the rest of the world. So thank you so much for doing this book and inspiring all your students and entrepreneurs with everything that we all do together. Thank you.
Thanks
All right,
again.
thank you very much, Francisco.
And to everybody on this call and all those who've left already, thanks a lot, and hope to see you around in Purpose Alliance and the Purpose Alliance community. If you have further questions, just get to me and I can help you with getting resources and so forth. Thanks.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot for the introduction. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.